All right, I may be ruining my watch time, but go watch this movie. It's really cool. And if you're interested to know why, spoiler free, stay tuned. I just got done watching A Quiet Place Day One. It takes place in New York City. It is the first day of the alien attack that turns into the other two films, A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place Two. I'm gonna tell you that I was pleased. I was not gonna watch this movie at first. I am a fan of the first two films. I love, 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 love creature features, and I love show don't tell kind of movies. This is just my kind of movie. But I wasn't really interested in pursuing the story after because I kind of felt like two was good, but it just kind of like, okay, we get the point, right? So with three, I was not interested in going to see this. After looking online, some of the reviews sounded pretty good. I thought, you know what? I'll go check out like the first screening. So this film really is less about the creatures themselves, although they do feature in this, and really more about the human story of what's happening to our main character. Lupita Nyong'o, the main character, she's got terminal cancer, and she makes her way out into the city to catch a film and grab a slice of pizza. It's insinuated that this might be the last time, so she wants to make sure she does this. So while she's out, we witness the first landing of the aliens. This film was a little different. I think the first two films really cover what it's like to be a parent, trying to protect your children from peril. And so it focuses more on a family aspect. This film really focuses on her. She's alone and she's going through this disease. She's fully aware that she's going to die. And it's kind of her journey through this in the midst of all of this crazy stuff that's now going on in the end of the world. It's almost like it's the end of the world, but it's also the end of her world. And so maybe somewhere in the back of her mind, that kind of doesn't take precedence to the immediate situation of her life. The creatures, they don't show too often. If you've seen one and two, you already know what these creatures look like, so there's no spoiler here. So whenever the monsters do show up, you get real tension. I was scared a couple of times that you're gonna get some jump scares in here. So there's a lot of times where you're feeling on edge. That creature gets all up in your face or all up next to the character's face. You're like, oh my God. The story doesn't lag. It goes right pretty much into the first, I think, 10 minutes of the film. You're already getting stuff really loud in the beginning, hustle and bustle of the city, and everybody's living their life. And all of a sudden, bam, this big old thing happens. And all of these monsters start coming around and they're screaming and yelling. Ah! And then all of a sudden, nothing. I love show not tell movies. Give me those any day of the week. It shows such great potential that movies have of telling a powerful story without massive amounts of dialogue. There's probably about like maybe 10 pages of dialogue in this movie. If you have watched the other films, you are familiar with why it really is an up and down roller coaster. You're going to get a lot in the beginning and then you kind of settle down. And so it is a good mix of the emotion and the emotion building and then the relaxation. This movie definitely does remind me of my other favorite creature feature, which is Cloverfield, except without all the shaking. And I feel that you really should watch it in a theater because there's a lot of sounds going on. If you have a theater that's got a lot of great surround sound, you're going to get that feeling that I remember when the first explosion happened, like I could feel the boom underneath my chair, and I'm like, yes. And there was a couple of things in there that might take you out for a second, but you'll go right back into it as soon as the creatures appear, and it'll be fine. I think the few elements that really stuck out for me for this movie was definitely Lupita. She is such a phenomenal actress. I think both of them are. And my son was saying he thinks that in every movie, Joseph has to be screaming because that's his thing, right? And he does this in this movie too. He's quite a bit of an anxious little bug, and there's moments where he's like, "Ugh," so if you get triggered, you're gonna see that because I was like, oh wow, I was feeling him when he did that. I was like, I would have panicked too. The only thing that I think if I could positive and negative about it is that we're still not getting any information about these aliens. It usually prequels maybe fill us in just a little bit on things here and there. You're not going to get any more information on where these creatures come from, why they landed, what happened. Like, you're not going to get any of that. They're really focusing on the human story between the two characters here and not much more. To wrap this up, definitely go see this movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great time. It was suspenseful. I was jumping up in my chair a few times. As far as a creature feature is concerned, did it spook me? Yes. Did it entertain me? Yes. Was it boring? Not at all. Little things here and there, but nothing that would really super, super take you out of the film. I really enjoyed it. I would give this definitely an 8 out of 10. Watching it in the theater, you're going to get a better experience. I would recommend it. Definitely go out and check this out in theaters. All right, I hope this helped you. I will talk to you soon. Until next time, shiver, scream, repeat. Bye.